everybody. What's up? This is DJ Thielen, CEO of Fortune Foreclosures and founder of Flipping on Demand. You guys see my special guest on here today. So this is the Art of High Ticket Wholesaling, episode 11. And today it's awesome. I got a really good buddy of mine for, 30 years. We won't tell the stories about back then, but we're going to talk to you guys about some really cool stuff. So I got John Guyette on the show today. Welcome on, John. What's up, bro?
America, I love you all, and I'm happy to be on your show, DJ.
Hey, man. So you guys are in Vegas, taking a little trip. Thanks for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
My wife has taken over my schedule, my man. I don't get any time to myself. It's always trip.
Yeah. Hey, man. Got to do what you got to do, man.
Hashtag happy wife, happy life.
Right? Yeah, absolutely, man. So, hey, man, so we go back, some of our stories, man, we go back so far that we can't share some of them on Facebook. But while we're live on here, it's going to be a lot of people that see this. But first of all, I wanted to have you on today, buddy, because you're like one of the best sales guys I've ever met, and you've had a lot of success, be it in the car business, then that transcended into the tanning business and the auto business again. But I wanted to share with people, if you could, just real quick, kind of the cloth that you're cut from and where you come from. We have some similarities, but share with the people just really quick so they can understand where you came from and that kind of thing. We'll get into, the Johnny G stuff.
I'm going to tell you first so that everybody knows this is the coolest thing ever because I get to see myself right there so I can make my own impressions. Well, hey, the long and short is I just go by the flow, DJ. I improvise, I learn, I take notes. As successful as I've been, my friend, I've never turned away from listening to someone and asking questions and bouncing things off other people. And, I think the thing that gets in front of most people is that they think they know more than they should. And it's better to learn and listen than speak. And, my dad always taught me you got 2 ears and one mouth. But I didn't come from success. I didn't live in success. I didn't go to college. I have a multi-million-dollar company now. I'm happy as hell. My wife's happy. A great daughter, kid, and great friends like you, my friend, that call me up to do cool things like this. How you doing, man? Yo!
I love it, man. I love it. Dude, this is going to be the most watched episode, man. I'm
not a flipper. Let me break it off to you guys. I'm not a flipper, but everything in life comes from the same exact cloth. Everything happens the exact same way. And if you take the things in life that you learn that you can use and you apply them to whatever it is that you're doing, I guarantee you that you will have success. No two ways about it.
So speaking of that, man, what have been, share with the people on here, man, because there's going to be a lot of people that see this. Maybe, hey, you touched on something really cool. You said, obviously having 2 ears, one mouth, but it's people that stop evolving, right? Stop growing. And you look at like LeBron James. I mean, this guy's just a beast. He's at the, 14th, 15th year. He's at the best he's ever been. And he's working harder and continues to practice, continues to work his craft. And I think, so many times, man, you hire a lot of people for your companies and stuff, but you see people come in and they don't really realize the energy you have to have, but really, truly what it takes. They think they do. But they don't realize that it's that consistency, obviously hard work, having a good energy, being happy. But what are some things, you've coached and mentored, man, a ton of salespeople. Tell me your top, let's say top three. What would you say are the top three to give people some nuggets? The top three things that successful salespeople do and have in common.
You got to have a routine. You got to wake up every day, same focus, same desire. You got to have a routine. If you don't have a routine, you're going to be scattered. You're going to lose things. You're going to miss things out. I don't have a good memory. I can't tell you why, but I don't have a good memory, okay? So with not having a good memory, I have to write a lot of things down. So my system is to write everything down and have everything on paper and be clear with myself every single day of what my plan is for the next day. Or I'll take 10 notes from the end of the day yesterday and put them into one game plan for the day today. I know you, DJ, you have a vision board, okay? I don't know if any of you know about DJ's vision board, but probably watch some other videos, you'll see it. But I have a Post-it note board, like I say. So I keep track of my regiment. If something's different and out of whack, then I put that and plan it ahead of time where that's going to go. So routine is key. Second, you got to want it. You got to want it like you're a starved hostage and you need a bite to eat right freaking now. And that next person you talk to, that next client that you serve, that next client that you see a smile on their face, that's what's going to take you to the next level. You got to want it so freaking bad. Everything in the world depends on it. Every time you talk to a customer, every time you work on your business, every time you train, every time you do anything you do, you got to want it very, very bad. And then I think the last thing is you got to have a stable home. You got to have a solid home that's not going to create roadblocks in your mind while you're trying to execute your sales and keep your mind right for what you're trying to execute. If you've got, I live my life like it's a garage bay. Like, so imagine you're looking at a $10 million driveway and there's a row of garage doors. Bam, 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 bam. And of course, DJ's got the first 8 garages filled up with his cars. And then the rest of the cars are Lamborghinis, Maseratis, Bentleys, Maybachs. I mean, you name it. They're just stacked in there. Well, each one of those garages in my world is in my mind. And in my mind, I've got garage spaces. And I try to have more than one garage open at a time. And I literally, my staff will tell me, I've got all my garages closed. I've got the right one open. It's the sales one. And that's the one that's got to be clear. If you've got boyfriend problems, girlfriend problems, hassles, headaches, problems that are on your mind, that's a garage that's open in your driveway. And if you've got things open in your driveway, there's no possible way that you're going to be able to execute the last garage space down there the way that you should, which is sales, open-mindedness, and trying to make clients happy. That's my 3. Booyah. Pow.
Dude. Right out the cuff, man.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Record this shit because it's gonna go fast. Oops.
So, hey, man. So you hit it, right on the head. And I'm big on this, routine. We didn't even talk about this. This conversation we haven't had, previously. We're just usually hanging out. But so routine, huge. I have a routine, morning routine. It puts me in the zone. It puts me in my puts me in that what I like vortex, right? My thoughts, my energy, everything's flowing. It's good. You gotta want it. That's you've heard. There's a guy named Eric Thomas, and he says you have to want success as much as you want to breathe. Once you do that,
I love that guy. I know he's your friend, but I haven't met him. But I love that guy. He's got so much powerful information that is motivational and stuff that everybody could live by.
Hey, but you said that, and then something that you said that is really cool. That most people have. That if you ask someone what's the top 3 things in sales, and it's really cool you said this because it's totally something that other people might not mention is a stable home. If people are, because a lot of times, John, you get people in, we get people in, hey, DJ, we're flipping homes. And so I don't care what you're selling. But if you have this drama in your life, if you have stuff, you're definitely not going to be your best. But right. That's a huge point, man, because everybody says, well, the problem is I need access to get better properties. Hey, I need access to cash buyers. If I do that, I'll solve all problems. But yet they have a broken home life. They don't have a healthy daily routine that they implement daily, and they don't really want it. And so taking those things and saying, hey, that what you think really is the problem really isn't the problem. This is really what the problem is. And here's how you can fix it. And once you fix this problem, the cash buyers are going to take care of themselves. They're going to show up. The other stuff, I don't care what you're in sales, the clients that you're selling cars to, they're going to naturally show up right into your business. And is that kind of how you feel too?
Bro, here's the deal. I remember when I was in the car business, and I first started in the car business when I was like 23 years old. The first thing I was taught is if you're on the phone with a customer and you're talking live with a customer, you better be smiling. You might be staring at the wall. You might be looking at a book, but a customer can tell. They can just tell. If you have other garage spaces open and you're behind the counter at one of our spas and you're trying to pitch a membership and you're thinking about your boyfriend who just got fired off his job and he's out in your car driving around somewhere, your mind might be somewhere else. But if your mind is clear, you're going to do work and you're going to achieve greatness. And I believe that in every aspect of my life.
So you said too,
I got to say something else. I got to say something about what you said. As far as people that say, leads aren't coming in or it's slow. I got to tell you, there's two words that are it's over. You can't work for me. Don't say it's slow. Don't say the word slow. Do not say it's slow. It's slow because you're letting it be slow. Find something to do. Get after it. Make it happen. There's going to be someone that comes before you. And if you're ready when they come, then you're on it. But if your mind's thinking about it being slow, you won't be there. And I forget what the other thing was I was going to say. Go ahead.
No, hey man, you are like the original Grant Cardone, man. Let me see. If we put you and Grant Cardone up against each other, do you think you could outsell him?
I would love to be next to Grant Cardone, but I think I'd probably smoke him. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have his money, but you know what? I'd give him a run for it. I'm not afraid to step up against anybody. I like a challenge, and I like to get at it.
Yeah. Conor McGregor, man.
Conor McGregor. Holy moly. Sweet.
So, talk about someone that wants, but, these things, John, the cool thing is, as these people watch this, obviously in the art of high ticket wholesaling, what I come is to give people value every week and say, hey, man, we're going to share with you from people that have done it, have been there, got the t-shirt, have done it, and have done the stuff that you maybe you want to do, maybe you say you want to do, but you really don't really want it that bad. You just say, yeah, I'd like to do that, right? And so wanting something so bad was a key point. But it's so amazing, man. We have so many similarities, and we haven't even talked about this. But we say around here, hey, smile and dial. If you say, I don't have anything to do, no one's answering their phone, and you start buying into these thoughts, what will happen is more people are not going to answer their phones. More people aren't going to show up. And when that person does show up, you're not even going to notice them, or you're not going to be present, and you're not going to be in the zone where you have the ability to sell them, close them, help solve their problem, whatever it is that you're doing and whatever you're selling, you're not going to be even present. So that's like huge. What else, man? Just while we're ripping and roaring, what else from?
I got to say this. So I'm sitting in the airport in Las Vegas, okay? I don't have my phone. My wife has it. She's picking up one of the little ones up there upstairs. I have money on me. And I don't know what's taking so long. I'm downstairs waiting, and I had a moment to think to myself, what would I do if I was here by myself, no phone, no money, don't know a single person, and there's people everywhere begging for money all around me. It's Vegas airport. It's, all types of people. What would I do? And I really had to sit for a few minutes, and I had to think to myself, what would I do to get myself home? What would I do to get in touch with someone that could help me get somewhere that I would go? And it made me just think to myself. And I could have sat there and I could have stewed on just sitting there by myself, but I occupied my mind with ways of growing my mind and what I would do. And I'd watch people walk by and I'd go, I know I'd grab that guy and I'd close that guy. I could probably get money out of that guy to make a phone call.
Hey, man, I'm losing you a little bit. Come back on, buddy. Maybe disconnect. See if you can disconnect and come back on. Sometimes, depending on where you're at, if you're at a hotel, the internet connection or whatever. So until John reconnects back on here, you guys, listen. There you are. Okay. So, hey, you were saying, I love the smile, man. I love it, baby. So
I don't know what I was saying, bro. I don't know where I lost you at, but I was just going, man.
Hey, you were saying about being in the airport, and you were imagining yourself being in the airport, having no money, and like, how would I get out of here? How would I get home? So go from there.
I was looking at different people that walked by who I thought I could close, who I thought that would be the right person, how I would approach that person, how I would approach this person. I really was just waiting. But instead of occupying my mind with being frustrated, because for a minute I was a little frustrated because I could have had a coffee, I could have called someone, I could have texted, but I was just literally, I had nothing. And it was like that show, where you're on the island with nothing. So it made me think about what I would do to Mom, I can see myself. There you are. Good. Cool. Okay, we're here. So I just thought about what I would be doing to progress myself forward, and I think that's what everybody needs to do in life. I think that if you start dwelling on the negative, it will consume you.
Oh, absolutely, man. And what you're talking about is being resourceful. And dude, it's so funny, man. I tell people, they're like, I need this software and I need that software. And is there software that can make your life better with technology and everything? Absolutely. Is there stuff, especially in real estate? You can click on a street. You can click on a house. You can do a street view. You can see, do a live walk down the street. You can see people, not like you walking down the street, but you can see houses on that street. So if someone sends me a property all the way across the country, I can just go on, right, and just literally go on that street, see what kind of houses there are. You're froze, buddy, so maybe disconnect and reconnect up. But you can go on that, and really we're talking about being resourceful. Right. So if you're resourceful, when John and I first started in sales, he was in the car business. I was, slinging camera systems. That's how we met. Sold him a camera system for his business. And then he bought a bunch more. And so, but listen, when John and I used to be in sales, we had this. Okay. We had a notepad and a pen and this, right? But it wasn't this nice, a cell phone. So we had a cell phone, a notepad, and a pen. We didn't have software. We didn't have, the ability to go onto YouTube and watch a video on how to sell, how to serve people, how to serve and sell. We didn't how to market, how to do Facebook ads. We didn't even, Facebook wasn't even a thought back then, I don't think. So, for those of you out there that see this, the stuff that we're talking about here today, and John will reconnect here in a second, but the stuff that we're talking about here today, okay, this is, let me actually send him a reconnect link right here, right? This is technology, guys. Sometimes it's great, sometimes, but I got two screens and I'm good. And I am going to send him a message here to reconnect. Stay with me one sec, you guys. But the thing that we're talking about here is being resourceful. Okay. Click on that. So we're talking about being resourceful. It's so amazing now, the access that you have to anything at your fingertips. Google search. When people tell me, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. Now, is there a lot of bad information out there? Yes. Is it better to get information? People go, well, I can learn how to do that for free. Well, maybe, right? My son could, paint my house, but it's probably not going to come out the best. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, you have to take things kind of with a grain of salt. I think a lot of times with what people say, and it's kind of thrown out there, and it's used in a general sense, but people will take it and pull out of it what they want. But we're talking about being resourceful, and in this day and age, if you're resourceful, okay, it's absolutely unbelievable what you have access to at your fingertips. Going on YouTube, right? Accessing YouTube to see some of the best sales training. I don't care if it's Grant Cardone or whoever it is. Accessing literally anything you want at the touch of a button. And I think that it's so easy now that a lot of times, I don't care if you're 50, 69, 28, 31 and a half. I don't care how old you are. I think that here you are, man. He's back. But I think it's gotten so easy for people to kind of be lazy and not really understand the real hustle. You know, I remember my son one time, he said, hey, I was calling him like, what are you doing? Man, I'm grinding. And listen, he's a hard worker. You know, Devin John, great kid, awesome kid. But I said, dude, grinding is like, there's a whole nother level, right? Just like there's a whole nother level of what you think a lot of money is. Just like there's a whole nother level of a lot of things. My mom worked 2 jobs, sometimes 3, didn't drive a car, made all our baseball games, raised us. I mean, it was like, that's to me, like that's grinding, you know? And I think that's where I've gotten my work ethic from. People are like, man, hey, I can outwork a lot of people, but I don't think I can outwork DJ, you know? And I think all of us entrepreneurs have that in us. Like, it's like, man, maybe it's because you want to help people. Maybe it's because you want to make a lot of money. I don't care what it is. Whatever fires you up and you want it so bad, you want it more than you want to breathe. And once you get to that level and you can literally get there like instantly, it's just a choice. But anyways, I was kind of talking and going on, John, about some things. So now that you're back, champ, before you, I lose you again, man. Hey, so you didn't obviously with your, growing up, didn't, have a,
Hey, do you remember when can you identify back when you were younger? DJ, what gave you the vision that made you want more?
Yeah, I think for me it was, I wanted to, because I didn't have a dad in the picture growing up. So for me, I wanted to retire my mom, right? I wanted to not have to have her work so hard. To not have her have to, struggle to wake up at 4 a.m, take the bus, take 3 buses from North Portland all the way to, there was no Uber, right?
No Uber, baby.
So for me, that was it. And then unfortunately, baseball ended up leaving the game, and it didn't happen from that standpoint. But slowly over time, as I evolved and grew more, that was really my thing is, hey, I just don't want my mom to have to struggle. That was what it was for me. It's changed a little more now, but that was for me. What about you?
Here it is, man. And this is probably super, super privy, but I just remember I was living at my dad's place, and he was a general manager of a car dealership. And I remember he would come home every day in a suit and tie, in a different, flashy, bad to the bone. I mean, this was back when like Acura Legends first came out. It was like the car of, this is like the coup de grace back then, right? And I remember he'd come in convertible cars, and I was like, I want that. And I never let go of that vision. They had 2 garages at their house. And I remember he'd pull in the one garage, he'd pull it in the garage. And I remember I'd see the car in the garage, and I'd be like, man, I want to be able to have things like that. And I tell you what, that from that one memory, that one thing that I grabbed is what's driven me. And still to this day, I got nice cars in the garage. Make no mistake. You want to hear what I got, baby? Yeah. I'm not gonna
I've seen it, man.
We aren't going to talk about my cars, but I'm happy to have the garage that I have. And I tell you, that was my moment. Yeah, that was it. I remember seeing that. Maybe it was a pinstripe suit or something. I don't know. I kind of remember it, but it stuck with me and it keeps me going.
And you know what, man? It's funny because growing up, right, we had the, I think you still have one, but it's like, you have your own reality, but it's like this picture, right, with Lambos and the house and that kind of thing. And
in my garage. Yeah, that's right. On the hill. Yeah.
And so, but it's, I think that so many people, man, they get stuck because they don't have a vision for their life. And you touched on it earlier. I want you to expand on it, but, a lot of times people see themselves as who they are with all, we all have flaws. We're all jacked up a little bit, but people see themselves so deep and believe that who they are is who they are. Well, that's just how I am, right? Well, that's how you choose to be. And so, like for me, I used to like to, even when I had my own office, man, I would dress up nice. I would put on slacks and I would make calls from my home office. When I'd go on appointments, I always dressed nice as I thought was nice. And, it never showed up like not clean, And so even 30 years ago when I sold you some camera systems, man, I don't know what I had on, but it wasn't, it wasn't holy shoes, And so like showing up, I think you have to see yourself as who you want to be. I think that's why vision boards are so powerful. Writing out a perfect day is so vital, is that you have to, in my opinion, is that yes, you want to be grateful and thankful for what you have, but seeing yourself as the person you want to be is so much more important than seeing yourself for who you are with all your flaws and all your weaknesses. I think like what we focus on expand, and I think that, not everyone thinks this way, but I'm big on kind of seeing ourselves as the person we want to be. What is your belief in that? How has that helped possibly you or your salespeople as you've trained and helped coach, hundreds of salespeople?
I think that as a leader of salespeople, you have to be an example setter. It's kind of hard to be a leader and have the lowest numbers. It's kind of hard to be a leader and have other people that work for you dress nicer than you. It's kind of hard to be a leader and not have your hair done every single day or your makeup done every single day. I think as a leader myself, I don't usually work in my med spas, but when the time does come and I step behind the counter, my salespeople generally will say, "Okay, John, you're here for a few minutes. Let's see what you can do." They're referring to the next customer that walks in for me to show them how I can just sell anybody, anytime, no matter what.
Hey,
no matter what.
I got a story. I'll elaborate on that, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. So just because you said that, I'm going to tell you my story. So I'm behind the counter one day, and this is me. I have to do it because I am who trains these people. So if I can't sell, well, then they go, "You didn't do it." So I tell the employee, I said, "Okay, fine, cool, let's do this." Now it's a tanning salon, okay? UVB tanning rays, spray tanning with med spa services as well. And I go, I guarantee you, the next person that walks through the door, I'm going to sell them something. Picture off the wall, spray tan, Vela shave, laser hair, something. I'm going to sell them something. Okay, it's on. Let's do it. We're looking out the window, and we see a FedEx truck backing up to the door. Okay, that's not a dead ringer. I'm still in the boat. I can still handle this. Something still can happen here. So as I see the person that comes around the backside of the truck, ready? 6'3", African-American, very black, okay, big dude. He's getting the box out. He brings it in. What am I supposed to do? So I told him, I said, "Listen, hey, what's up, man?" Pow, shook his hand, said hey to him. And I told him the situation that I was in. I said, "Listen, I got a dilemma." I told her, "I'm the man. I train these guys. I got to find a way to make something happen. Are you married?" "Yep, married." "Does your wife like med spa services?" "Yep, she does like med services now that you ask me about it." "So what if I did this? Bing, 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 bing." I sold the guy a med spa package for his wife. I gave him more than I should, but the moral of the story was that I set the example. I'm looked at as being the guy that can do things that others can't. And if you want to be a solid leader in anything that you do, and that goes from our kids that we talk to, the postman at the front door, the person at Plaid Pantry, or the next person that you talk to on the phone that you're trying to get to flip a house, it's all encompassing.
Everything is, it's seeing opportunity, right? Hey, I'm gonna see the opportunity in this.
Create the opportunity. Man.
Yeah, create it. Hey, so you may not remember this, man. I know memory-wise, some things go, but dude, this is so funny you told that story, because when I was getting you set up on cameras, you did the same. I don't know if you remember, but we were in your Tualatin store, and you said, "Dude, next person that comes in, I'll bet you $100 I sell them at least $500 worth of services. And I'm like, all right, cool. So this lady comes in and she starts walking up and you're like, oh no, right? She just spent like $1,000 or $1,500 and you're like, oh man, all right, man, I got it. And you ended up selling her, I don't know, 600 and some additional dollars and stuff. And she was happy about it, you know, and I think that's the cool thing. It's like seeing the opportunity, you know, sales. And the reason that we're talking about sales today is everything we do is sales, right? It's all about relationships. Everything. I think personally that it's a disgrace that it's not taught in the school systems. That's a whole nother story. But everything that we do in life is sales, is relationships, is understanding how to communicate, and how to help people get what they want. And if you help people get what they want, you can get what you want. So that's funny that you said that, man. So creating opportunity, right? So many people, oh, well, I don't have a cash buyer list. Freaking go on the internet and go on LinkedIn and find the millions of people that say, I'm an investor, and freaking call them, right? Like seizing the opportunity and going after stuff and stop waiting for the time to be right, the day to be right, the weather to be right, the mood to be right. That's the difference, you guys, that you're hearing from one of the best salespeople, probably the best salesperson I've ever met. And you're hearing this stuff, this same stuff that he's sharing with you guys. It's not that you don't have the best leads. It's that you're not going out and getting them. It's not that you don't have the best properties. I can go out and go online and find multiple properties. People are like, well, how do you do that? I freaking click a button and I go on Zillow, or I go on, I just take action, you know? And it's so...
Figure it out. There's a way to do it for sure with everything that you do. Period. I mean, I went, hey, I'm not good. There's no shame in my game. They offered me a 2-hour class, go to a 2-hour class at the place I'm staying at, and they give me Michael Jackson, Miss Deer, and the Blue Man Group, no charge. I went down to the class. I'm going to sit through the class. I'm going to listen. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to come out the other side with my tickets. Believe that. I can pay for the tickets. Shoot, I could probably pay for the whole entire program. But at the end of the day, I got me some free tickets. And I'm going to see the show with my kids, and both my kids and my wife, for free tickets. Hey, so I'll tell you what happened. I went down to the event because I told my wife, I said, if you book for the show, if you book for me to go to this timeshare class, that you can't go. And we made a deal. My wife can't go because I can say no. My wife can pressure me to say yes. So the deal was, you can't go. So when I went there, they wouldn't let me go through the class without my wife. So I said, wait a second. You can't tell me how I run my world. This is how I do it. So I went back around to the front lady. The front lady said, hey, you know what? No problem. You don't even have to go to the class. I'm going to give you the tickets for free. Bam! I don't even have to go to the goddamn class, and I'm going to the shows, brother. What now?
Hey, man. Yeah, and you know what? Most people would have said, oh, well, God, she can't come. Never mind, right? Or they would have said, well, let me go see what she's doing. Then they go up and get the wife. I don't want to go to that, you know? And then it's like, and so like, it's so crazy, man. You're talking, like, seizing the opportunity. And so many people, we could, I mean, sales is sales, no matter what you're doing. But a lot of you out there that are struggling, you know, take this advice, this advice that you're hearing from John today. This applies in everything. In if you're wholesaling, if you're flipping, if you're, just getting into real estate, if you're seasoned in real estate. In fact, sometimes if you're seasoned in real estate, the worst thing that you can do is, that could be the worst thing because you think you know everything. You think that you get comfortable. Well, I've done this for 20 years and 30. Listen, the best salespeople that I tried to hire were the best of the best of the best, and they were the worst. I hire them. I'm like, oh, they're going to be great. And they were the worst because they knew everything. Oh, yeah,
because they're cutting corners. They think they know everything, and they're cutting corners. But the reality, I'm going to tell everybody right now, I don't flip. But if I began to flip tomorrow, I can tell you right now, every single time I thought I had an objection, I would call that guy. I would call him. He's the man. He can cover every objection. If I was to start some other industry or some other trade and some other business, I would find out who the man is. And I would want to soak up everything that I could because I know for a fact exactly what you're saying. The minute that I thought that I knew too much, the minute that I thought I knew it better, I'm going to miss some important steps along the way that are really what I need to know to get me to where I need to get to. There is no fast track.
So what do you see, John? Is I could tell you mine, but obviously, like, you're on here, baby. G Money. So what do you see, Johnny G? What do you see, Johnny G? The number one thing that holds salespeople back from themselves. Talking about like inner issues. If it's belief, if it's confidence, what is the thing that they usually have an issue with? That people that are watching this, not only can you tell them the big thing, but maybe how to fix it.
I think the most important problem that people have, that employees have, is being able to stay focused on the job and what it takes to get to the next level without letting outside influences or personal issues ruin what your end game goal is. If you want to be a person that can shut off those things, you've got to come up with a system, like my system of the brain being a storage driveway and shutting things off. And because if you don't, I mean, sometimes I literally will wake up at 4 a.m. and I've just got these 2 important things that stay in my head and I don't want to let them go. And I'll literally, listen, comment below if this happens to you. And I'll literally be laying there and I'll just keep running these same 2 things. And I'll go, come on, save it. Call this person, make sure you take care of that. Call this person, make sure you take care of that. Do this, do that, do this, do that. And I'll say it to myself so many freaking times that I realize there's no way to go back to sleep. It's not going to happen. If I go to sleep, I'm going to lose these 2 important thoughts that I got to have. I'll get up. And if I usually have a pad of paper in the drawer right next to me and a pen, and I'll scribble it down real quick. And I guarantee you, the minute that I do that, DJ, I'm back to sleep. But I think that outside influences can affect every part of your life, including your sleep. And if you don't have a system in place to take those things and shut them out, then you're not going to be successful in anything you do. And I think the problem that most employees have is they're going to have a boyfriend or and this isn't a bad thing, but that, they have ex-husband issues, or they have they're a single parent and they've got issues with managing their children, or the economy's changing, or things happen, and it's like you've got to be able to remember what's important. And I'm not going to say that life surrounds work, because it surrounds family first, but to have success in your family, you got to have a solid work situation going on. And if you don't, you're out. I tell my staff that come to work for me, there's 2 rules at my company, and this is a fact. Have fun and make money. Because if you don't have one, you can't have the other. Nobody's happy not making money, and nobody that makes money isn't happy. So if you can focus on the 2 most important things in life and get your ass to work, and remember that's the end goal, then you're going to retire young and you're going to be happy. I'm not going to retire at 70. I'm not going to retire at 60. I will retire at 50 because I'm going to work my freaking ass off until I get there, period.
What are you going to do when you retire?
I'm going to spend a lot of time with my dad, and a lot of time with my mom, and a lot of time with my kids, and a lot of time with my wife, and I'm going to spend extra lot of time with D Jizzle. In fact, do this. If anybody's watching this, make sure you say D Jizzle or DJ down below if anybody calls you that. For all the DJs out there, right below, hit it right there.
Hey, man, we used to remember we used to ride those little motorbikes?
Oh, man, there was so much stuff. Hey, I'm gonna talk about the brick building real quick. Hey, listen, let me tell everybody a funny story about DJ, okay? When I first knew DJ and he was building his program, I don't know if it was some other company you were doing, but
camera systems or something.
Building a website for it, whatever it was. So everybody shows up in suit and ties, 8 people, and we're gonna go to this building in front of Lake Oswego. So for everybody to stand on this steps, looking pro, took the picture. That was the face of the website. And that was how DJ created the image, going after what he needed to have people reach out to him, I guess, back then, and it kicked his camera company off in a big way, that's for sure. But
Hey, man,
remember, DJ, doing creative things like that, that's creative stuff. That's like what, 20, 30 years ago.
Hey, man, and I think the things that, you and I haven't like talked a lot about the stuff we're talking about now because it's just raw. But dude, entrepreneurship, man, people, I think, I think not everyone is cut out for it. I think that everyone could be if they wanted to be. It's just a choice. But, you hit on some great stuff, man. I mean, having fun and making money. And, obviously, like with us, it's having fun, serving others, helping others solve their problems. Because we deal with people that they can't get properties because it's too expensive, or they need help with this, or they need help with that. And so for us, it's like, hey, what are you doing now? What kind of troubles or challenges are you having? Can we provide a solution for that? If we can, awesome. Do you want our help fixing that? And then we go out and fix it. So as far as, so we talked about sales. What about marketing, man? You've got a brilliant mind when it comes to marketing. That's way outside of the box like mine. What people that are looking to market online, what are some things, or just brand themselves, right? I think right now you look at Kevin Hart, if you follow these things and these people are turning into their own brands. And I think that if people can realize where people's attention is on Facebook, on Instagram, and not just be on it to be on it, but be on it and be methodical and actually connect with people that either you can serve, you can help, or you can do business with, or you can impact in some way. But talk a little bit about marketing.
Marketing. I will tell you, I hail from the car business, so everything in the car business is about marketing and advertising. So I've taken that, and in my own companies, I eat, sleep, drink marketing. That's my method. I'm in every magazine I can possibly be in. I post on our Facebook, my Med Spa Facebook page, my tanning Facebook page. We post on that on a consistent basis. I've never had another company do my marketing ever. I've been involved hands-on with every single solitary stitch of marketing that's ever been done at my company in the last 17 years. Nobody approves my ads but me. Nobody creates them but me. Nobody says okay to them but me. And it's important that I have my hand in every single ad. And with respect to marketing, it's got to be consistent. It has to be something that you're on top of every single solitary day. I don't know which speaker it was. Maybe it was Grant Cardone. Fact is, it was Grant Cardone. I think it's 10 times. That's his methodology. 10 times. Everything you do, go 10 times harder. Everything you do, go 10 times harder. And I eat, sleep, drink 10 times harder. Period. Make no mistake. Even in arguments with my wife, 10 times harder. But at the end of the day, I'm just kidding about that. Everything. She might be watching this, so I love you, baby. Hey, everything in life is 10 times harder, and that's Grant Cardone's method. I was reading an article once about Grant Cardone, and that he was at a pivotal point in his career, and it seemed like things were getting kind of stagnant. And this was about 8 years ago, and things were getting kind of stagnant. I know I told you I didn't read books, but okay, I do. But about 10 years ago, Grant Cardone was getting kind of stagnant, so he needed to make a change in direction in his marketing. And this is what Grant Cardone did. He went 10 times harder. So if he did a post every 4 days, he now did 2 posts every single day, 3 posts every single day. And he said he certainly lost a lot of followers right in the beginning, but overall, he ended up picking up 10 times more than he had before because he decided to go 10 times harder. So his methodology is what I follow in everything that I do. I try to go extra harder than anything else I do. So in terms of marketing, I will literally go through 5 different magazines and 5 different companies that are doing different marketing before I have the company that creates my ads create my ads. That's print marketing style marketing. We do business card marketing. Everything that you do, you should have your name on it. Everything that you do, you should have your name on it. No matter where you're at, no matter what you do. If you're at a restaurant and you're paying for dinner, still to this day, we leave a business card with the tip. If we're at Red Robin and it's a swipe machine that you got to do it, guess what? My card's sitting on top of that swipe when I leave. That's how we do it. Because we have coupons on the back of our cards. And the whole idea is everywhere we go, we promote. DJ, I don't know if you ever came to any of our Hawaii giveaways, but when we had 10 locations going, we would promote a raffle every April. Our company would give away trips to Hawaii. We did it 9 different times. I think we sent 15 different couples to Hawaii. We've paid for that through these promotions that we'd run. We'd sell raffle tickets. We'd do different promotions. We'd get other vendors involved. Huge event. Long and short, marketing has got to be constant. It's got to be something that you're on top of every single solitary day. If you don't have a Facebook page, you better get it right freaking now. If you don't have your own name secured at GoDaddy, what are you doing watching me right now? Go to GoDaddy and get your own name secured. My name's John Guyette. Good luck trying to get my name. I own my name. I'll own my name forever. I own my kids' names. I own whatever future kids I might have that I think their names might be. I own those Guyettes too. No one gets my name. It's my name. So same thing with DJ. He owns his name. Marketing is going to go a lot further. And for you guys that are in your industry, it is all about self-branding. Because no one's going to do it for you. You're only going to have it for yourself. I can rely on other employees to do what I do, but for your type of industry, it's all about self-branding. Facebook, Twitter, get your own name secured right freaking now, because if you don't, you're missing the boat. Yeah. And then with respect to marketing, that guy right there will give you all the marketing stuff that you need to put on your Facebook pages, on your websites, and one avenue, I think, or one area of DJ's work is the web development and the things like that. So that's other stuff that DJ has, that can help out with all of your people too. But if you don't have that, you got to get it right now. If you don't have email set up for all of your company, everything that I do has got a different email, service at or John at, and you use your website and it goes to whatever you get. So if your name is Timbuktu Johnson, you need Timbuktu Johnson at Gmail. You need Timbuktu Johnson at Yahoo. You need Timbuktu Johnson at me.com. You need all of them that you can possibly get so that you can own your own marketing. Once you've secured your own marketing, then you're at the helm of your own ship. Then you can dictate ads and promotions and what runs and what don't runs. And for your type of industry, I would presume that self-marketing is key.
Well, it's funny, man. So absolutely. And, here's the thing. There's a saying, people do business with people they like, okay? But the problem is, if they don't know you, like Grant Cardone says, right? If they don't know you, baby, how can they like you, right? So you got to be known, right? If people don't know you, how in the world are they going to, you'll never get them to like you. So what are some ways you can do that? Well, you can work your face off and build your own brand. You can connect with companies or mentors or people that already have that brand and connect with them and utilize their name and their knowledge. That's one thing that like we do for a lot of our people that we assist to build their wholesaling and flipping business. But you have to have a name. If it's your name, if it's a partner name, you have to be known, especially in this climate. In this day and age, I think very few people in 5 years are going to even have computers. John and I will. But right here, right? Cell phone, everything's mobile. Everyone's mobile. And so you've got to be known in order to be liked. How do you get known? You've got to build your brand. You've got to promote yourself.
If you're one of those people that goes, I've got 3,000 friends on my Facebook account. Well, do all 3,000 of those friends know what you do? Do all 3,000 of those friends know exactly what you do? Have you beat it into their head enough so that they know what you do? I got to tell you something with little car lot that I own. I own a little side car lot. And with my car lot, it's like I barely put any posts. I don't want to blow crazy like that, but I barely put any posts on our own Facebook page. But the reality is I got friends, just that small people that know that I'm involved, contacting me left and right because they know that I own a little car lot. And when their kids need a car and they need to send them down to get a car, they know they're going to get a good car from me. So they'll send them down to see me because they know that I'm in that industry. Because here and there I put a post, my wife will put a post on her Facebook page. I've never pushed it on my Facebook page. If I did, dear God, what would happen? But I'm not there. I'm not that guy. My wife does. So at the end of the day, I get a little, because people know what I do, a little piece of my wife's friends reach out to me to get cars because they know what I do. So if your people don't know what you do, if you're not posting on their pages and asking your friends and your family and everybody you know to help promote you as well, then you might be missing the boat.
Yep. Hey, what about...
There it goes.
Hey, what about one thing that I want to end on? Look at those guns, baby.
46, baby. Gia.
Hey, what about one thing I want you to touch on, man? Because you're gonna love this one. I want you to, because we hear so many people. Well, I called them. Okay, they didn't answer. Well, what'd you do? Left a message. Did you text them? No. Did you Facebook direct message them? No. Right? And this is in like, you guys, I'm telling you this from experience. Everybody, I tell them, listen, if you call someone and they don't answer, send them a direct message on Facebook. You should be friends with them if they're a client or a potential client, anyways, on Facebook. Send them a text. It's automatic. It's not even a question. I don't even leave voicemails anymore. I'd rather call them back. But talk real quick, John, about, we're in a day and age now where when you and I were started in sales, 30 years ago, where it was follow-up. People, you call somebody, they answer their phone, they pick it up. Now, 90% of people that you call, if they don't recognize the number, they don't answer the phone. So a lot of people say, well, nobody's answering, right? That's one way to look at it. Or another way to look at it is, great, these people are not answering. I'm going to let the other people struggle because they're not answering. I'm going to text them. I'm going to get on Facebook and direct message them. And then they're messaging you back. You have to.
If you don't do it, somebody else will.
Someone else will. But most people aren't, right? They don't go that extra step, and they're like, well, I left them a message. Text them, direct message, Facebook them. And it's like, and so in this day and age, in the climate right now, those of you that are watching this is a huge tip for you, because if you're looking at it as a glass half empty and you're saying, well, no one's answering, you have to look at things from a different angle all the time, right?
I got love for you. Ready? Here we go. Check it out. This is what you do. You create a system so that you don't have to have this tedious process every single client that you try to reach. So you have a telephone call. You try to call them, you get them. You don't get them. Well, then you go to your phone, you're going to create a cool text message. And sometimes when I'm trying to reach people, like this happens more than I like, is I'll have employees that don't show up to work, or something happens and I got to reach out to another employee. Well, the other employee already knows if John's going to be calling at 8:55 in the morning, it's probably to ask me to get my ass up and go to work because there's an issue at one of the spas, right? So I'll make it a point. Maybe sometimes I'll send a super friendly picture with my message of my daughter or of my dog or something friendly. So, I mean, if you create a system, so you don't have to keep creating a message every time. You can create a message for your first call, for your second call, for your third call, and you can email all three. You can text message all three of those messages to yourself. So then you can always scroll right to your phone, to yourself, and go copy, paste, bam, and you can send that to that person that you just tried to call and had to leave a message for. Then you can have a system on your Facebook so you can create the same thing. So it's not this tedious, arduous process each time of having to type out a message and say this, that, and the other. You can create systems in place with your work so that you don't have to make your work harder. You can actually make your work smarter. And with follow-up this day and age, it's critical that you stay on top of calling clients back. I live and die for customer service. It's a big, big part of our company and of our success. And when I have a customer that has an issue, I will call their ass at 7 in the morning. I will call them at 10 at night. I will call them at every hour and a half in between during the day, because I want them to know that I'm doing my job and that they're important, that they need to get back to me. And in your industry, you want them to get back to you. You want to get in touch with this person so you can find out what you need from them and how to achieve the results you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Hey, so you guys obviously have implemented a lot of texting, and you're talking about, obviously templates, creating templates so you don't have to send the same text every time. Hey, if I call them, they don't answer, boom, I'm hitting this. And it's so funny. I was watching a video from Grant Cardone, the number 2 sales trainer in the world, next to Johnny G, baby.
That's my guy. There we go, baby.
And so, he said, the average person at his company, they're cold calling businesses, 200 calls a day. If they're not hitting 200 calls a day, they're not doing anything. And some of you, and I say this with love, some of you that watch this just need to take more action, right? Because yes, you might make some mistakes. Yes, you might not do it perfect, but if you're so paralyzed and so fearful that you're going to do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing, I don't know what to say. Who cares? Pick up the freaking phone and just call them, because you're going to overcome that. And even if you're messing up, if you call 100 or 200 people in a day, I guarantee you're going to have some results. You're going to get some business from that. And so even if you're really, really bad and you say all the wrong things. And so it's, in the refinement of that, you guys, will come over time. But if you're in, say wholesaling, there's a lot of people that are trying to wholesale, trying to flip, and the market shifts and that kind of thing. You have to look at things, everything, you guys, just like John's saying, just like from a different angle. Okay, that didn't work. How can a glass half full? How can I make this happen? How can I sell this African American, this black guy that's coming in? How am I going to sell this guy a tanning package? Right? Like John told the story earlier. Most people would look at that and go, oh, I'm shot. I lost. Right? And they would just throw the towel in. Where John took it and looked at it from a different angle and said, hey, we offer other services, med services. I'm going to see if this guy, what's something I could sell, right? And so if you're always, looking at things, or you start looking at things from the angle of how can I, instead of, how is this, the reasons that it's not going to work, or the obstacles. That's going to really drastically change your results and change the success that you guys and gals have, is literally by having that shift in your mind. What's the opportunity in this? How can I reach this person? How can I get in touch with them? I didn't reach him. Okay. Did you see him on Facebook? Did you connect with him on Facebook? No. Right. It's just, it's so easy now to connect with people. And if you're not doing that, this is a great tip for you guys to do it. Always text people. If you want to leave a voicemail, great, but always text them regardless. And get connected with them on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. And if they like to direct message, I have some clients, John, and you might have this. I have some clients that love direct messages on Facebook. So what do? I've got my icon is locked. I've got my icon right on my homepage, just like my text messages. That way, if a certain client, I know that they like to DM, I'm going to DM them on Facebook. I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to text them. I'm going to communicate with them like they like to communicate. And so many people out there, they're like, well, why don't they just pick up their phone? And you get so frustrated, right, that they're not picking up their phone. You guys, it's going to happen. Your frustration is not going to have them pick up the phone. So what's your option? You have to come at them from a different angle and say, hey, maybe they like to text like everyone, or maybe they really like to communicate on direct messages on Facebook, or maybe they are on Instagram a lot. Maybe let me try to connect with them on Instagram and direct message them on Instagram. So you have to realize, you guys, we're at a different point now than it used to be in sales, and you really have to evolve, and you have to communicate with people like they like to communicate, not necessarily like you like to communicate. And I'm sure, John, you guys run into this all the time as well. You have to.
Absolutely.
I've never asked you, but I mean, I would assume that your salespeople, if they're calling and circling back with people, that I would guess that you have them text them.
Text, email, Facebook, every single angle that you can think of. We train our staff on how to do it. And I was just going to say a minute ago, you touched on that if you guys are calling people, back when I was a manager in the car business, there's a funny rule in my company now, but the rule was you had to dial 700 numbers a day. 700 numbers. Any one of my people that work for me now, ask them how many times they got to touch the vacuum per day. 700 times. So, that's just the program with the dialing. But as far as dialing, you had said, and even if you don't know the right things to say when you call these clients, if you don't know the right things to say, just take a minute and create a little script. Take a minute if you're concerned about how you're going to call these clients and what you're going to say to these clients and how you're going to come across. Take a minute and practice. Write a little script down. Sit with your spouse, sit with your partner, sit with DJ, and write a little script down so that you don't come across a situation after you've invested all this time texting, Facebooking, Twitter, and then you get them on the phone and you go, you don't want to do that. You want to know what you're going to say to these clients. Just like this. This is old car business just from ingrained in my head. Ring, ring, ring. DJ, hit it. Ring, ring, ring.
What's up? This is DJ.
Hey, DJ, I'm just following up about that new Maserati Gran Turismo that I sold you last week. It's John. How's that car doing for you, buddy?
Oh, it's doing great, man.
Hey, you know what? That's awesome. What'd your wife think about it?
Oh, man, she loves it.
She loves it. That's fantastic. I got to tell you something, my friend. I know you're a baller. I know you used to play for the Giants. I know you're the man. Listen, I get a great deal of business from repeat and referral business just like you, my friend. Who do you know? Who did you go show that car to first, second, or third? Who do you know that might be next and interested in buying a car?
Oh, man, I showed my son, man. He was loving it. He wants it.
That's awesome. That is so rad. So he would be in the market. Who else you think might be in the market? You got any other friends or family you think might be in the market nowadays?
Absolutely, man.
Hey, would you mind if I called those people and just say, hey, listen, told them about your new car and how excited you are and gave them a shout and see if I could help them out? You think I could get their number from you?
Absolutely.
Hey, that's fantastic. Hey, you guys, for people that are watching, that goes back to, many years ago. And I still push that these days. A great deal of business is acquired from repeat and referral business. And seriously, if you know someone that wants to flip or someone that wants to get involved in this business, there's bird dogs, there's referral programs, there's ways to create ways to make things happen. That's my touch.
You know what? That's another thing, man, asking is sometimes like, yes, sometimes the old school things, people like have evolved, right? Or they say, well, yeah, that used to work a long time ago. Like, listen, I always say this. It's like, hey, if I could put a note on a pigeon and send it to you and you're going to get it, but I'd rather shoot you a text, right? So yes, it still works, but it's really not. So door knocking. I hear a lot of people, right, when the market's hot and everyone can get homes right off the market and peel them, they're just making calls and going online and buying them. Then guess what? Market locks up. Now everyone's out. Now the number one way that wholesalers, the big wholesalers in LA, spending $300,000 a month to make $500,000 a month. They have a team of door knockers. They're out there pounding the pavement, and so it's like maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't have ever stopped door knocking. I mean, because if door knocking works when the market is good or the market sucks, maybe you should continue to do it even when the market's good.
100%.
Right.
If we have the newest, most high technology Ferrari known to man that comes in, and the last one that they had of this model was an 8-cylinder that had 700 horsepower from the factory, and now we've got an opportunity to take that car and add 2 more cylinders to that motor. Do we want cylinder 1 and 2 to stop? Does that mean we can no, we want all 8 of those badass cylinders plus the 2 more so that we can have maximum capacity. And exactly what you're talking about would be almost like disconnecting the first 2 cylinders because we got 2 new cylinders to add to the car. Now, we want all of them cranking. We want them all cracking. And it would make no sense to just pinpoint one area of marketing that you do or one area of pursuit that you do. You want to go after them all 100%. And I want to go back to marketing for a minute. If you're someone out there that really wants it, you got to understand it takes money to make money. It takes energy. So if you're not willing to put in, you're probably not going to get much out of it. So with respect to branding yourself, marketing yourself, buying suits, clothes, briefcases, cars, how you're going to pull up, what you're going to do, how you're going to represent yourself, it takes money to make money. So understand that out of the gate. You got to be ready to invest and take risks to get reward, period.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, you would see people, well, so what's your situation? Well, I'm 53. Okay, yeah, I want to get into home flipping. I'm really excited, but I have no money. Okay. So how can we help? You know what I mean? And then you start hearing about, well, I tried this and that didn't work, and all these fears and all these insecurities and all this stuff. You guys, you have to take the more risk and the more chances you take, the more success you're going to have. We've probably had, John and I, more strikeouts and more failures than we've had successes. But you don't really, a lot of people may not see those because all they see is this, right? But behind the scenes, when other people wouldn't try, we were trying. When other people were scared to go out and open a business or put the money on the line and believe in themselves to open a tanning salon, my boy Johnny G opened up.
Hold on. We opened up our business 6 months after September 11th, yo. September 11th, nobody was opening business. Economy tanked. Airports just got opened back up. But at that point in the game, it was balls to the walls, and there was no turning back. It was all or in. And you know, at the end of the day, that was, 17 years ago and a long time ago.
Hey, but you said, I'm glad that you mentioned that, man, because, listen, if you want to have success, you've got to take a risk, right? Maybe it's trying this program, or maybe it's trying this thing that you learned on TV. Maybe it's contacting us. I don't know, whatever it is. But you have to, at some point, just continue to step out in faith and continue to take chances, because it's the only, and when you take a chance, really believe in yourself that it's going to work. Not like, oh, well, gosh, you know what? I tried this before, and if this doesn't work by next month, then I'm going to give up, right? It's like, dude, don't even do it then, because
another thing, when I interview and hire people, there's 2 questions I ask myself. Are they interested, or are they committed? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's one or the other. If you're just interested, go do something else. If you're committed, if you're in it to be committed, success will come your way.
Absolutely.
With anything, if you're trying to persuade your kid to wear a different pair of softball pants to the softball game that she thinks are too tight and make her look stupid, but it's the right pair because they got the sliding pants, and you got to talk her into it. You got to create it. You got to make it happen.
Is that a personal story?
Yeah. hey, bro, she's got 10 pair of softball pants, and of course, not one of them can be the right one. So it's just, geez.
Hey, man, it's just a woman thing. So, but you know what? Hey, man, that was I'm glad that we stayed on a little longer, because that's so huge, man. And I talk about that all the time too. It's like, hey, people are like, hey, I want to try this, but if it doesn't work, if I don't do a deal in the next month, or I don't do a deal in the next 2 months, then I'm just going to, like, what's your option, you guys? If you have that mindset, I don't give a shit what you do, you will not win. You will not win. And it's cool that, you brought that up, because I get like fired up about that. I hear people say that. It's like, dude, you're 53 or 42 or, 38 and a half. You're at this point, you're never going down this path. You're never going to have the life that you want. So, like, do you really want this other life that you say you want? Or are you just bullshitting me and bullshitting yourself and telling us that you want it, but really, you really don't. You'd rather stay comfortable in your comfort zone. And I tell people, hey, listen, if you like going to 8 to 5 and you like your job and you absolutely love what you do, then I think that's what you should do. I really do. I don't think everybody is built to be an entrepreneur. I don't think that everyone is built, is going to just go to a class and find out how to wholesale or flip properties and go out and not get punched in the face once or twice. And if you do and you quit, you're never going to have success, right? So if you want everything to be perfect, don't be an entrepreneur. But if you want to have that life on the other side of your fears, then you have to reach out. You have to just say, hey, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I really don't know, but I'm going to commit to really giving this a shot. Maybe it's a year, right? Like a year's better than freaking a month. And I hear people say, well, if I don't do a deal in 2 weeks, then I can't do it anymore. I mean, it's amazing. So anyways, going to wrap up, man. Anything you want to add before we wrap up the show and the podcast?
Yeah, I don't know. I will tell you, my friend, and your people, that I live by this motto, and that's what I'll close with. Great friend of mine, old friend, Kevin Wepper. He was like the youngest general manager of the Ford dealership in like 1995. He was like 25 years old, and he was the big kahuna. And his words were these: there are those in life that make excuses, and there are those in life that find a way. Be a way finder. And I live my life by that, my friend. And if everybody else that sees this lives their life without excuse, I think that life will blossom. I look at excuses as being slaps in the face, and and I hate them. So I think that, if you live your life with the motto, there are those in life that make excuses, and there are those in life that find a way. Be a way finder, and you'll be happy.
Absolutely, my friend. Hey, man, so thanks for jumping on here, man. I love you, bro. I'll
LA soon.
Man, come down, hang out. We'll hit down to Santa Monica again, man. And like your daughter, she loved that, didn't she?
She loved it, man. She loved it, bro. We won that big freaking giant stuffed animal for her. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, man, tell the fam hi, and we'll connect up, buddy. Thanks, man. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for taking time on your vacation, man, and sharing some knowledge and your insight of 30 years of being a badass, salesperson and sales trainer, man. I appreciate it.
Love you, bro. Peace out.
Love you too, man. Thanks, buddy.